so many chances. I think it's very important to unbalance your opponent when you play with the white pieces. Definitely, you have to win, and we just see what's going on the board.
And so far it's a repeat. The Berlin defense, exactly what we saw earlier. The players are going copycat style. Wow, what has Magnus got up his sleeve? Is he just going to play a 100-move game, beat Wesley on the clock? So far, okay. First deviation from that point. The white bishop comes out to g5, pinning black's knight. This is rare. Normally, the white bishop doesn't really want to necessarily give itself up for a black knight. But Magnus forcing Wesley to think. It's only move 7. And the players have only used a few seconds up to this point. We can see Wesley is surprised.
I was going to say, I was just looking at the database and I'm like, it says there are no, there has to be some games. There are some games. Not many, just one.
So a rare line from Magnus.
Absolutely.
Well, it's a provocation, bishop g5, bishop h4, or that's how I'm taking it, that let's go, play g5, and then we'll see. But of course, Wesley is more solid than that.
Yeah, and I must admit, I'm surprised to see Magnus try and strike in the center. He's pushed the white d-pawn for a second time in this game, losing a bit of time there. And now, big moment, which way does Wesley castle? He castles queenside. I think that's a great move, and it shows Wesley is not afraid at all. Black has everything covered. And yeah, black is actually ahead in development, potentially. White is the one with a lot of ground to cover in the middle of the board. And you mentioned the provocation, Judith. The advance has begun. Wesley stepping forward, pushing pawns, kicking the white bishop away from the pin.
I don't understand what Magnus is doing here, what his plan is.
Well, he's attacking in the center on e5. What can Wesley do? Knight d7?
Just, yeah, hold the fort, step back, brace for impact. Yeah,
But then knight c4, so...
But I mean, can't you go, knight, I was going to say h5 as well.
Is this a pawn sacrifice?
Knight h5, good move.
Yeah, maybe a pawn sacrifice, but a lot of activity around the white king. Looks like one-way traffic in terms of who's playing for the initiative right now.
Magnus shaking his head.
Yeah, I would be shaking my head too, I've got to admit. I just don't think that this is the type of position that can be easy to play in an Armageddon, let alone creating winning chances for white. It looks like black's having all the fun, and it's far quicker, far easier, speedier to attack than it is to defend.
And is black actually threatening to capture that pawn in the middle of the board?
So I'm going to take bishop takes e5.
Just might as well suffer for something, right, Judith?
Yeah.
Take a pawn and hope for the best.
Yeah, but you're gonna
it perfectly well.
But you're going to suffer quite a bit, because after all the exchanges, there is a bishop takes
f3,
knight.
Queen f3.
But then you
rook d2, queen.
Yeah, so Magnus wasn't attracted by that and instead reinforces the center. Well, he has a queen a4 in the pipeline, but his position doesn't look all that, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, and easy moves for Wesley. So he just trades in the center, opening things up for his bishops.
Isn't this a pawn, by the way? If c takes d4, bishop takes g3 and rook d4?
Yeah. It looks like it's falling apart for white. Just what has Magnus got up his sleeve? He was the one who chose this opening variation. He did not surprise Wesley in the end. Clock time still looking healthy for Wesley, over 5 minutes. Magnus just under the 8-minute mark.
Is it time to actually come out with the queen to a4?
Counterattack, Jovanka. You want to go after this loose a7 pawn, go for the black king, at least maybe gain a tempo in the process. Looks logical, but some calculation needs to be done there. Magnus burning the clock.
Yeah, I do like this comment which says, no, keep the faith, brace yourself for a brilliant move from Magnus.
He needs one.
He does need one. I mean, his position looks like he's losing control.
Yeah, and long think now, over 1 minute in an Armageddon game. This is potentially crucial. What does he do now? He does simply capture, and your question now, Judith, is going to be answered. Can black simply grab a pawn? Take this bishop. Take this pawn on d4. There's a pin. This knight is pinned, so the d4 pawn is not truly protected. Maybe he's just going to gamble there, just move his queen and hope for the best. I don't see it. I think he can be greedy here, Wesley.
Well, let's see if he's going to be greedy.
Yeah. Other options maybe include bringing the bishop to b4, creating a double pin on this diagonal, if you want to be fancy, but
He does go for that idea.
There we go.
I mean, you still have knight takes bishop on your pocket, and then the plan of actually opening up the H line.
Yeah, did you see Wesley looked up at the screen where he can see what move number it is? He's already thinking about getting to move 40, getting that 1 second increment, but it's only move 15. You're miles away from that.
He has a lot of moves to make. Okay,
But
the
look,
queen.
there's a sacrifice. Bishop f3, exchange is gone.
Wow.
If you're in a situation where a draw is equal to a win, are you going to gamble with those type of moves?
Queen a4 that Magnus has just played?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is gambling, that's
Well,
for sure.
yeah, exactly. But grabbing the material. Well, Wesley, he's a cool customer. He says yes, absolutely. So he's going to take that rook.
And is Magnus going to meet a capture of his rook by taking this black a7 pawn?
Yeah, but it is a rook.
It's a true gamble. Yeah, I don't know if you have any checkmating attacks there. You just have to hope for the best. But it feels like if you don't play that, you're just material down for free. He has to take this
He
pawn.
goes for queen a7.
Yeah, and the idea is to bring the white knight forward to take away the black king's escape square. But wow, nice move from Wesley. There was some tactics there. The black queen was threatening to go back to
G4.
a5. Ooh, g4.
But
Or takes first.
He trades, but now there's no back rank checkmate, at least for white. The white king has some breathing space, so the white knight can jump.
Knight e5
Five.
on g4.
Maybe.
Yep.
Has Wesley
And
just
white wins.
missed an opportunity? Big threat. Knight e5 takes away the black king's escape square. Queen a8 will be a checkmate. Wesley needs something now.
well, can you not play f3? F6.
Yeah.
Classy. Control that white knight.
Exactly.
Then I go e5. e6. Another checkmate. Right?
Oh, nothing gets past you. Well,
I think knight g3. I'm not sure it was good.
This was a great gamble. Suddenly, at least there's attacking chances, and he's forced Wesley to think. 3.5 minutes for Wesley, so he's not coming back. Only 1 second increment after move 40. White's got a decision to make now. No queen trade, surely. Maybe you can give a check to the black king.
Check and come back to a4, right?
There we go. He's going to play that. Queen back somewhere. And the black king is out in the open.
Magnus is back in business.
At least it's double-edged now. It's extremely complicated. He's got a knight and a pawn for the rook. And 3-minute time advantage.
and could Wesley try to play it safe and actually step back with the king to c8 and say, you know what? I'm going to house my king on b8. And if you want the draw, you're welcome to it.
I think that was the best move, actually.
Yeah, he
Best decision. Because f5, d5, look at that.
Wow, he took a leaf out of your book, Jovanka, just controlling that white knight with f6, Wesley so, but suddenly Magnus has the time to open things up. That black king, it might be in huge trouble. He goes back. And how does Magnus continue now? And Wesley, again, looking up. He's trying to check what move number it is. He's struggling now under 3 minutes.
But it's also the tension, I think, that he's
Yeah,
just
the nerves.
really tense.
Now how to continue the
e5,
initiative.
of course. Of course, e5.
But
He's in the flow now, Magnus. Push forward at any cost.
Can the king not hide itself on b8? Safety first when you
Well-
have this type of limited time?
But then already you can go e takes f6, takes on d5, f7, knight d5, you protect. I mean...
He does hide the black king on b8. We're expecting Magnus now to either push or take this pawn. I think take it.
I think take it on f6.
Yep, open up your rook. Get that passed pawn. He's got to make a decision. Magnus Carlsen, he's maybe mulling over even capturing on c6 first.
Though after e takes f6, maybe rook f8.
Just to hunt down this pawn.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. Will we see that variation? Wesley, head in hands.
6.
He goes for it. Ooh, fumbling the pieces there, Magnus. A bit of nerves, potentially. No, his pawn has landed on f7.
Of course, rook e8, knight e5.
Big initiative for white. Great compensation for the material. Look at this passed pawn on f7.
Maybe it's time to actually try and trade off queens.
Yeah, white will not agree to that trade though, surely.
Yeah.
Okay, the queen slide.
Okay, the queen. Oh.
Knight e5.
Knight
Big
e5.
threats now. Knight forks all over the place.
And
Ooh,
can Can he play it now?
Yeah.
What is this?
Can you give a check? Wesley's banking on the fact that he can give back some material. The white knight can jump into d7 with a family fork there, but it will be captured immediately. Should be winning, you feel like, for Magnus. He's got the safer king if he wins back the material, but still some calculation to be done.
And, well, Magnus, plenty of time on the clock. He has just under 4.5 minutes. This is a very critical position.
Yeah, Wesley has 2 minutes to make 13 moves.
What do you think about Queen D7?
Beautiful.
You're smiling on Queen D7.
Queen to d7, hoping.
The only thing I don't see the threat.
Yeah, I don't see the threat either. But beautiful move, though. And it was forced Wesley to think. Magnus lifting his rook.
Can you use that idea and play queen to e8?
Yeah, there would have been some tactics there. I'm not sure it was quite working out. But Magnus is going for direct checkmate. He's lifted his rook up, shifting it across the board. Queen a8 was a mate threat, so black has had to play c6, opening up space for his king. He's got to run. Just like Ariantari in his game, the king has got to go on a walk. But Magnus is hunting it down. Surely this is winning for white. Judith, you're the attacker here. Is this decisive? Continue. Rook b3.
Rook b3 looks good.
Wesley at this point looks up more in hope than expectation. He's only got 1 minute and 52 seconds, and it looks like the black king is not going to survive that long.
Rook b3.
And you do feel that there are some ideas of knight takes pawn as well.
Yeah, knight takes c6 threatened. Knight takes rook on f7 threatened. Oh, maybe now your idea, Jovanka.
Yes.
The knight can capture on c6. There might be better. There might be even stronger.
But maybe just Queen b6 check.
Yeah, take the material back and then go for checkmate after.
Well, if King c8, then yeah. But also Rook f3.
Rook f3 could be a killer in the next couple of moves. He plays it immediately. Judith, nice spot there. Full board awareness, and that white rook is entering the 7th rank.
No, it's won. The rook is...
It's game over.
It's game over.
He can still... Oh.
No, still not. Wow.
One check, and it's over. Rook check.
Rook check.
Wesley's going to
What
resign.
a game.
Ooh,
What a game.
what a gamble by Magnus Carlsen. And there he takes it.